Have you found anything really terrifying, like really scary in your time on the tools?
I found a gun.
What's the craziest or strangest thing you found whilst working?
Quite a few things, to be honest. I've just recently been in quite a lot of grows in people's lofts. You know, like,
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, like, don't go in the loft. You know, you don't think I can smell.
Yeah.
Already. I mean, I think I've got my sense of smell disappeared. It's but I've also, I'll tell you what I did find.
Go on.
Like a whip cellar, like, you know, where they
Really?
yeah, where they had all chains and everything.
Well,
and
like was it like a BDMS? What do they call it? Yeah, it's BDSM, isn't it?
I don't know. There's a lot. I have no idea.
A red room. You found a red room.
Well, it was black actually. There's all black leather everywhere. All black leather on the walls.
Yeah.
And then there was a swing in the middle. I thought, that'd be quite good. And then all chains and stuff like that.
Did you have a go? Did you have a go on the swing? Go on, you did, didn't you?
Quick going. But I had all my clothes on. I kept my clothes on there. So yeah, no, that was. What about you? Have you found anything weird?
Oh, strange things. I'd say, well, obviously the old pleasure toy here and there, but I mean, they're not really strange, are they? Just depends where they get left out or not, or how freshly they've been used.
And how big they are.
Yeah.
Chains, you know. Anyway, that kind of stuff. I once found.
It's a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, I once found there was a picture in the it was this woman's house, and it was like a naked picture of her in her bathroom for all to see.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is a bit like weird. And then underneath it was like a newspaper cutting, and it says, Sally fights dismissal over naked photographs. And she was a school teacher.
What?
And obviously they'd put this photo in a paper or something.
Yeah.
And it was her.
Oh my God.
So every time I saw her now, I was like, oh, don't look anyway.
How many times did you bleed that rad?
No, it was about 30. She was actually quite nice. She was a nice person as well. What about spiders, creepy crawlers? Have you seen any of that?
I'll tell you the scariest situation I've been in, and genuinely, it was quite terrifying because, well, I was working for these builders, and these two, like, you know, ex-bouncers, big guys, like, you know, they're off the lager, just a light and bitter, you know, like drinking 18 on the weekend, strong, big guys. Well, we were doing these office conversions in like Leytonstone, and they had a bit of a cellar, and they used to get there right early doors because they lived out like deep Essex. So they used to get up at like 4:30 in the morning, beat all the traffic into London, working. Well, anyway, I mean, I was about 18 at the time, right? And I'd come in and they'd say, they're like, mate, there's something going on in this building. Like, it's not right. It's like this, you know, we'd be sitting here and we can hear stuff downstairs and that. And I'm going, I'll behave. Like, what are you talking about? And they're like, no, and they're not the type of guys that would, like, you know, that would say it without meaning it either.
Yeah.
So anyway, and the sort of it got you thinking. They're like, yeah, we could hear like a tapping on the window upstairs. That's like, you know, because in this office block, I had like, you know, the window separating a couple of rooms, and obviously they could look through the. He was like, it's that single pane glass. He was like, we could hear a tapping up there, and we went up there, and there was just no one up there. So it's like a bit weird. So anyway, one morning I get there early. And I've got all the keys and I open up, and it's like a cold winter's morning and stuff. And I walk down into this cellar because obviously the stopcock's down there. And I'm not joking when I say there's like almost like a misty fog down there.
Yeah.
Like really like old Victorian London spookiness.
Yeah.
And
Scooby-Doo down
I'm
there.
sitting there and I'm just thinking, no, I'm not letting them get in my head. This is ridiculous. Like that. And I kid you not, I heard like and I was like, wow. And like, you know, when you sort of get the old senses up the back of the slide,
exactly
there was like a white heat that come over, and I was like, no. And then I kid you not, Andy, I kid you not, I went down, I tried to turn the light bulb, the bulb blew, right? Right. Bulb blew. So,
When did you start crying?
It's like one of them really rickety little cellar stairs down like that. And I kid you not, right? It must have been like the wind or something like that. But it kind of like, you know, when your eyes adjust because the bulb's just gone out, and I see this kind of like movement in the fog, like go across, and Scott, I was out of there. I run upstairs. I was like, I'm not doing it. And I waited. They got there about 9 o'clock, and I went, I'm so glad you're here. I can't go downstairs. You've done me in. Oh, so that's definitely the most terrified I've been in my life, I'd say, actually. Yeah,
that's not good. I told you when I saw the ghost I mean, I don't believe in ghosts and stuff. And I told you once, I was working in a house that I bought, and I was doing it up at sort of night time in my spare time. And I went at this one night, and I've been working there for months, never had a problem.
Yeah.
And I bought it because it was next door to a friend of mine's house. So I used to, when I was at school, he was my best mate. And I went, and I was working, and I could feel somebody watching me, and it's really weird because, like you said, when you feel the hairs on your arms, and I went downstairs when I was leaving, and it was dark, and I had to unplug the plug in the lounge and then run out the side door because it was a terraced house, up the Gennell. As I ran up the Gennell, I was locking the door really quick. I was like, oh, thank goodness nothing's happened. I walked up the Gennell. As I walked past the front of the house, there was a little old lady looking at me from inside the house.
No!
Yeah, looking at me through the net curtains that I'd put up to stop people peeking in. I was like,
oh, God,
so yeah, but nothing else ever happened. And I never felt that I'd been watched again. It was just, What about any goody things? Have you found anything good in anyone's house? Diamonds, gold?
No, mate, I know. I feel like I missed that era. Like, it's sort of like I'm just.
We found it all. We found all that.
It's so annoying. Like, the best thing I found is like an old bloody newspaper clipping from like the 30s or something, which was like just really interesting. And all you do when you look at it, you just look at how like cheaper tin of soup is or something. Yeah. We end up doing, or like there's always like an auto trader. Old Morris Martin, look at that, it's like 20 quid. Yeah. But I've never found anything good. I'm absolutely gutted. Yeah.
Well, I once found, I think it was £2,800, but I'm talking this must be 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And I found that in someone's house, but it was an empty house.
Yeah.
Had been, the little old man and woman had died and obviously put their money underneath the carpet in fortunes packets. And they'd obviously give the house to the family had took it, and then they'd sold it to someone else. So I was working for them. Yeah. So they didn't even know it was there. And I was like, oh, what do I do with this? So anyway, I nicked it all.
Well, you saw my post. I met up with Ray, who taught me.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
He found £5,000 because that was one of the first things as I started. I said, have you ever found any good? And he said, yeah, I found £5,000 once. Completely empty house. Like you say, it was an insurance job. And he found £5,000, and I thought, oh, wow. What's the most disgusting thing you've ever come across?
Well, I worked in a house where they got loads of dogs, and there was just dog poo everywhere.
Oh,
and honestly, you couldn't walk across the lounge or the kitchen or anywhere without treading in it. I remember getting there, and I was like, what do I do? So I said to the customer, I went, look, you're going to have to move all this because we can't work here, And anyway, sorry, I didn't think it'd bother you. I was like, it's disgusting. Who lives in a house like this?
Mate, I had the same thing on the cat. It was like cat. The worst thing was there was just all this like matted cat hair. So it looked like it's been there for years. Yeah. And like you say, just trodden cat poo everywhere. And it was the first time in my adult life I walked into a property because my job as the apprentice was to go in, normally open up all the curtains and windows because it used to stink, and then lay all the dust sheets out. Yeah. And I remember I got the key from the clerk of the works, went in there, and I was instantly sick. When I tell you, instantly sick. I walked in, I took an inhale, and I walked out. I remember my brother working with me at the moment. He was walking up the drive with the hoses, and he turned around, he went, oh God, this is going to be terrible today. Yeah. Just watch me come back towards him and puke up in the garden. Oh. And I said, so anyway, she wasn't in naturally, and I was trying to find these cats. I thought, oh, maybe they're out. Anyway, I found out from the kitchen, the guys that go in after us, they rip out all the kitchen. They found 3 dead cats under the plinths. Nice. Yeah. And you just think, oh, mate, it's horrible. Right, have you found anything really terrifying, like really scary in your time on the tools?
I found a gun.
Oh, my God.
And the gun wasn't terrifying. The house is empty. I was in, the owner had left me to it. I was doing solar panels then, and we took the cylinder out, and there was a revolver wrapped up in like an old chamois leather or something, just stuck there. It's been there a long time.
Yeah.
So I was working for a national company then, and I phoned them up, and they talking to girls in the office, and it's just like, oh yeah, I found. What do I do here? Like, do I wait? Do you want to let the owner know or whatever? Well, she didn't tell me that she had to notify the police. Obviously, I didn't think that would be the case, and 10, 20 minutes later, I've got on response bursting through the house, telling me to get down on the ground, screaming and shouting at me. I'm absolutely terrified. I really did sort of pat myself then. Even though I was like, I'm going, I phoned you, shouting at a line on the floor.
And then taking the gun, they got your prints all over it.
Yeah. No, I didn't actually touch it. I just picked up the chamois and opened it up. But they took it away and disposed of it.
Oh, that's so funny.
It turned out it was when the owner came, because obviously he was sort of called into it and was like, what are you doing with this? And he was like, I bought the house a year ago. The old boy that lived there was in the Second World War. I took it home, hid it under the cylinder but for whatever reasons,
Yeah.
passed away, and no one knew about it. But
bloody hell.
that was, yeah.